You can't be afraid of sugar, because sugar is life force, energy. So when you eat sugar in whatever form it may be, glucose, sucrose, fructose, multidextrose, polysaccharides, monosaccharides, disaccharides, those are all different words for the same three things: glucose, fructose, sucrose. When you eat that, it gives you energy. It goes to your mitochondria, which I learned in science class is the powerhouse of the cell. So your brain runs on glucose. And people might say, what about fat? We need fatty acids, we need omega-3s. Yeah, there's a little bit of fat in pretty much all plants. So if you eat something that's starchy, like a potato, you're gonna get a little bit of fat in there. You're gonna get a little bit of protein. So just eat as much as you want of those sugary things: sweet potatoes, fruit, rice, sugar itself. Anything with starch is sugar, because what is starch? Glucose bonded to glucose, bonded to glucose over and over again in a chain. So that's what sugar is, glucose. What is table sugar? Sucrose bonded. Table sugar is sucrose. And what is sucrose? What is table sugar? It's a glucose molecule bonded to a fructose molecule. And your small intestine has an enzyme called sucrase, which breaks those two things up, and the fructose goes to your liver to get converted into glucose, and all that glucose goes to every single cell in your body. All 30 trillion cells, apart from the blood cells, all they really do is carry oxygen and hemoglobin. But every cell in your body has mitochondria, and that's the power station pretty much that gives you energy. It converts glucose into ATP. So it's something like adenosine triphosphate, and then one of those phosphate molecules gets taken off in the electron transport chain. This is all stuff I learned in high school AP science. One of those phosphates gets taken off, and the energy that was in that bond is relieved, and it's given to you so you can do things like neurological processes, contraction of muscles, the big things, muscles and your brain. They need the energy from that phosphate molecule. When ATP, triphosphate, is converted to ADP, diphosphate. So when that phosphate group comes off, that's where the energy comes from. And like I said before, mitochondria is the organelle inside of the cell that converts the glucose in the food you eat into ATP, so it can then be transported around your body and converted into ADP, which is where energy comes from. So you want 80% of your calories to come from sugar, 10% from fat, 10% from protein. And that's an alkaline diet, because fat is an acid. That's why they call it fatty acids. So sugar, things that are sugary are usually pH neutral or alkaline. So things like table sugar is pH neutral. It's right in the middle. So you want to avoid acidic things. But like fat, so avoid fat, because that's an acid, fatty acid. And then protein, somehow that converts into what is it called? Not nucleic acid. Protein. Man, I'm forgetting right now because protein is a structure that is a blueprint for your cells to code. For your cells to code things and build things. I'm blanking right now on. The reason I'm blanking is because glucose and fructose and sugar is more important. There's more potential for energy in glucose and fructose, as opposed to fat and protein. That's why you see people who are always eating meat and skipping on rice and skipping on bananas and skipping on oats and skipping on vegetables, and you always see them and they have dark circles under their eyes, and you talk to them at work and they're like, oh, I'm really tired today. Like, weren't you tired yesterday and the day before that? And didn't you tell me you were tired like 3 weeks ago and 5 weeks ago and 6 months ago you were telling me you were tired? Maybe you should try eating like unlimited rice and potatoes and corn and fruit, and you probably wouldn't be so tired, and go to bed at like 7 p.m. and drink enough water so you're peeing clear. But they're brainwashed. They wake up, they drink their coffee, they have a spike in cortisol, which gets them like in fight or flight mode. So people literally wake up and take drugs. Coffee is a drug, just to put themselves in fight or flight mode so they have energy to work. It's not real energy. It's just you're like tricking your endocrine system into like producing hormones that are like stressing you out and like giving you adrenaline and the power to work, when you should just get the power from the food. Look at the cultures all over the world. Africa, Kenya, the Kenyans, fastest runners in the world. What do they eat? Ugali. They eat ugali all fucking day. What is ugali? It's just you boil water, you put corn flour in the water, and you make a paste. Corn is, look at the nutrition facts for corn. It's like almost all just glucose. It's literally just sugar. You know what I mean? So look at Asians. Skinniest culture ever, besides the sumo wrestlers. What do sumo wrestlers eat? Ramen with beef. And what do the Asians eat who are working class people, who are living in the outskirts, the serfs essentially? They're eating rice all day long. The poor people, why are they skinny? Poor people are poor. They shouldn't be able to afford good food, so they should get fat, right? Because fat is unhealthy, it's toxic. So when you don't have money, you can't afford good food that's going to keep you healthy. But no, it's actually the opposite. When you're poor, all you can afford is carbs. So you just eat massive amounts of rice, and you get hella skinny. It's like the easiest thing. What else? Yeah, don't skip on the rice. Like, don't skip on the fruit in the morning. You gotta have sugar in your body to do things like sleep properly, to stimulate your thyroid, to produce hormones at the proper times. All that takes energy, and energy comes from sugar, literally glucose, fructose. Fruit is filled with sucrose and glucose and fructose. Potatoes are filled with all of those 3 types of sugars. So I really focus on the sugar. That's how we came up as humans evolutionarily. We lived in the jungle, fruit trees around us everywhere, picking up fruits, moving around, hunting, cooking meat every once in a blue moon, more so just foraging berries and eating everything that's sweet and colorful. That's why fruit is colorful. It stands out in the green of the foliage of the forest. So it's just easy to go up and pick and get sugar, and you pick it when it's ripe. The fruit in the supermarket today is like picked really green, so it doesn't have time to get sugar inside of it. So it's picked when it's not even tasting good. It sits in the supermarket and makes a little bit more sugar, but still you eat it, it's not very good. You gotta know what to get. In America, all the good stuff comes from California and Mexico. So if you're trying to get fruit in America and you expect it to taste good, and it came from Asia, it was picked super early, it traveled through the Arctic Circle, it's not gonna be good, Even the fruit from Mexico sometimes isn't good, you know. I got an organic papaya the other day, and I let it ripen up. It was nice and soft and yellow. It looked like it was gonna be good. It smelled pretty good when I picked it up, and it lost all of its smell. And I'm like, why don't it smell like anything? I cracked it open. It tasted like wood. It tasted like sawdust. You know, so just watch out. This is a cute little doggy. Yeah, so the fruit is not even sweet. You know what I mean? So that's why you have to add sugar. You can't be afraid of high fructose corn syrup. You just cannot be afraid of that stuff, man. If you want to have your best performance in life, social performance, emotional performance, athletic performance, work ethic, you need to be eating 80% of your calories from sugar. You probably need to, you know, this is capitalism. We all got to work a lot. So you probably need to be eating like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 calories a day of pretty much all just like sugar. Fructose, glucose, you know, corn, rice. Your friends are dates, bananas, white rice, sugar. So you need those, you need to start getting those in. And then you can start sleeping properly. You can lay down at 8 p.m., actually go to sleep, dream, open your eyes when the sun comes up, and be ready to do the day. You know, 6 a.m., 5 a.m., 4 a.m., just ready to go. And, you know, make sure you're hydrated too. That's the third step. So sugar, step 1, start eating rice and fruit as much as you literally possibly can. It's gonna feel like you have a binge eating disorder, but if you do what I say, you're gonna start feeling the best you've ever felt. So yeah, get the rice, the sugar, and the bananas, and the dates in. And at night, eat your potatoes and your corn. Literally, like have like 5 peaches for breakfast, and then like at night have like 800, 900 calories worth of rice and like 2 sweet potatoes. And make sure you're drinking water too. So that's step 1, the sugar from the food. Step 2 is the sleep, because once you get to sugar, you'll be able to sleep properly. So 8 p.m. every night. Step 3 is the water. So you gotta be hydrated enough to where you're peeing clear. If you have yellow pee, you know, I don't want to sound arrogant, but if your pee is yellow, you're a loser, bro. You're literally a loser.